The small temple town of Dharmasthala in Karnataka became a nationwide national talking point after allegations were made by a masked man saying he buried hundreds of bodies over the course of decades, over the course of 15 years in Dharmasthala. Now, there were questions being asked about his allegations. Of course, since then, a lot has transpired. He's been taken into custody because the allegations he put forth were found to be completely untrue, completely false. And that's why political tensions have soared, because the BJP is alleged that all of this was done, these allegations were leveled simply to go ahead and malign the temple administration, the Shri Manjunatha Swami temple in Dharmasthala. They've been demanding that a central body investigate this particular case and uncover the conspiracy. We saw massive protests taking place today, along with BJP leaders visiting the temple as well. Let's run you through the day's developments and then we'll take this forward.
Twist after twist. The Dharmasthala truth files continue to tumble out after the arrest of the masked man, Chinnaya. Chinnaya's claims of burying hundreds of bodies created ripples across Karnataka, and now the SIT's revelation that he's manufactured these claims has only led to further questions on the conspiracy in the temple town. With the truth being unmasked, the political fight has escalated. Karnataka BJP leaders visited the Dharmasthala Manjunatha Swami temple as they kicked off the Dharmasthala Chalo protest.
Dharmasthala Chalo is not a call given by Bharatiya Janata Party. It's a non-political movement. The conspirators who are behind this, they need to be punished. There should be a NIA or CBI investigation in the entire episode. Only then truth will come out.
How can they, without ascertaining his background of that masked man, तीन IAS ऑफिसरों को लगाया है ये गड्ढा तोड़ने के लिए? इससे मजाक बात क्या है जी? Means they have made it a laughing stock.
As the BJP led a massive protest, the Congress has dismissed the BJP's protest, reiterating they will not transfer the probe.
ದೇಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಪಾರವಾದಂತ ಗೌರವ ಇದೆ. ಅವರು ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ? SIT ಆದಾಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬಹಳ ದಿನಗಳ ನಂತರ ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಲ್ವಾ?
With the political fight peaking, the whole of Karnataka is asking one question. Why did the masked man Chinnaya make these allegations, and who is involved in the conspiracy?
That you can see behind me shows hundreds and hundreds of cadres from in and across Karnataka who have come here for the Chalo Dharmasthala protest that the BJP has taken up. In fact, Bharatiya Janata Party Karnataka has not only demanded that the SIT, that is the Special Investigation Team that is conducting its investigation into the Dharmasthala scandal, go on, but more importantly, they're demanding that the NIA take up this case and that the real truth behind what happened at Dharmasthala be unearthed. This is video journalist Prasad at Dharmasthala, Apurva Jayachandran, India Today.
Okay, let's run you through, away from the politics. Just quickly, we'll focus on the investigation as well and the names that have emerged in this particular case so far. We all know, of course, that the main accused right now is this masked man. In a sense, he's been unmasked because details of his name have now emerged. He's been identified as Chinnaya, worked as a sanitation worker in the temple premises. And of course, he's been booked, he's been arrested. Why? Because he leveled false allegations. But you have several other names also emerging. But mind you, this is right now in the level of the investigation. An activist identified as Girish Matanavar has also been summoned by the SIT. He's been a part of the protests against the temple administration, keeping in mind what's happened, and largely led protests demanding justice for Saujanya, one of those who'd gone missing many years ago in Dharmasthala. So he's been accused of instigating protests. At this point, mind you, he's been summoned by the SIT. Then there's another such an activist, Mahesh Shetty Timurodi. He and Girish were known to have been working together. He's been summoned to by the SIT, allegedly a part of the conspiracy, but that's a charge yet to be proven. A YouTuber, Samir, has already been, in fact, booked. He's now out on bail. Why was he booked? Because he put out videos on his YouTube channel of what's happening in Dharmasthala. And the police allege he faces a charge right now of misinformation. So all the details that he's put out, the police have said, give us proof, back it up, or you will face serious consequences. These are some of the names that have emerged so far in the investigation. We found it important to also get you the latest on that. But let's take this back across to the politics that's playing out in this particular case, with the BJP holding that massive protest in Dharmasthala. Joining us on this broadcast is Nikhil Jain, political consultant and advocate. We have Anand Gurumurthy, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP. Thank you both very much for your time. Anand Gurumurthy, I'd like to begin with you on why the BJP felt the need for this kind of a protest. If the SIT is investigating this particular matter, if the SIT has even arrested this masked man, as he was referred to, for levelling false allegations, why do you not trust them to go ahead and see this investigation through?
See, the way this investigation has handled from the beginning, is what we are questioning. And, a man comes with an allegation, he comes with a skull and says something, and he doesn't have any proof. He says that the proof will be by, digging the ground. They immediately, without, go ahead and without doing any kind of investigation as how he got this and who are behind this, they just start digging the ground, and finally it becomes a national news. It's a kind of tactics that Congress uses to malign very good pilgrimage places. They are also backed by certain people who have this malign intentions, and this is what we believe, and that is why we are doing Dharmasthala Chalo. We believe
but
that
you had
there is
also,
a very
Anand
big
Gurumurthy, correct me if I'm wrong,
gone.
but the BJP had also welcomed the SIT, the formation of the SIT. It was your demand.
See, when the SIT is formed, Akshita, they should first, look into the credentials by which he's, accusing. They went around digging in the temple town, right? And what did they find? They found nothing. Instead, they could have first understood what is the credential of this Chinnaya. Without even he being a witness, the investigation had just started. They made him a masked man. They made a kind of a story around it. Okay, and media started chasing it. It became a national and international news. A pious center which feeds thousands of people every day, and it's a very good pilgrimage center for Hindus. Why was there a need to malign it this way? See, there are crimes happening across the country. Every police station registers crimes. Okay, now when that is there, it has to be investigated and justice has to be done. Okay, we are not telling that stop investigating any place which has a pilgrimage center. But why make it a national news? Why make a story around it? Why give so much of prominence to activists who are known criminals?
But is that something you blame the Congress for? I'll bring in Nikhil Jain also on
this.
Yes,
I completely blame. I completely blame the Chief Minister, the Home Minister of the state, Mr.
So the BJP,
is
questioning the Chief Minister. I'll come back to Mr. Gurumurthy. Let Nikhil Jain make his opening comments as well on this. Constantly, the question that comes up from the BJP right now, Nikhil Jain, is what was the need for the SIT to immediately start finding alleged burial spots? Why didn't they first look into the allegations put forth by this complainant instead of jumping the gun, is what they question.
Akshita, it's quite a humorous argument to me, especially as a lawyer, because whenever somebody goes to the police and makes a complaint or goes to any sort of investigating authority and makes a complaint, the job of the investigating authority is to investigate the allegations, not investigate the complainant. Let's remember that no arrests were made. Nobody was put under detention. There were certain allegations by a person, and these allegations were probed by a special investigative team. That is what an SIT is, if my friend from the BJP is forgetting. Perhaps he's just following the Election Commission line, that when Election Commission sees complaints by the leader of opposition or other politicians, they're asking them to give the complaint on an affidavit. I'm sorry, but that's not how it functions. Once there are allegations, you look into them. If the allegations are true, you move the court, you run a trial, somebody is convicted. If they're not, a closure report is filed. That is the standard process of law. And that's the problem with the BJP, that they don't have faith in any institution of law, in any institution of the Constitution, except the ones that can be controlled completely by them. What is the difference between a special investigative team set up by the Chief Minister of Karnataka and the NIA or the CBI? The only difference is one is managed by a Congress-run government, the other is managed by a BJP-run government. And let's not forget the fact, Akshita, that since 1979, there have been many allegations, many protests about women disappearing, about charges of rape and murder against people residing in the area. I'm not going to link it with the religion. I'm not going to link it with the place of worship. But there are these cases and charges of women disappearing after supposedly being raped and murdered. Now, if the government is setting up an investigative team into it, what is the BJP's problem? If nothing is wrong, they'll file a closure report. If something is wrong, they'll proceed in the courts of law. And also, let me remind him, when he says that nothing was found, on the 31st of July, certain skeletal remains were found. Yes, they were not of a woman, but certain skeletal remains were found. So you can't brush it away as kuch bhi nahi tha, na koi aaya tha, na koi aayega. It's not like that.
Basically,
Anand
I just
Kurumurthy, your response.
See, what he's trying to tell is, the course of law, and that is what has to be followed. But when an allegation like this is done, and the way the investigation was carried out, okay, was something very it was dramatic. That is what we are telling. It was dramatic to show people that there is something here. It's not a pious place. That kind of a motive was there in all the rules and regulations that were followed by the Congress government. This is something which even the Congress people and analysts are trying to, who are pro-Congress, are trying to push to the minds of people. But today, we have seen that, as Mr. Nikhil Jain told, a skull was found, it was of a man. And again, where was it found? How was it found? All this will come out in the coming days, okay? Without knowing anything, BJP is not, doing this. From day one, we are telling the same thing. We are telling that first, be fair. Okay, you have started some investigation in the Dharmasthala side. Okay, and trying to malign it. First of all, don't malign the temple town. Number two, please also start investigating the credentials of people who are complaining. Okay, complainant, we're not telling them to harm the complainant. We were telling them to understand the credentials of this man. Okay, he's trying to, just throw allegations. And again,
Anand Kurumurthy, can we dictate how the SIT goes about the investigation?
No, it's not about how the SIT goes about, okay? But what we are seeing here is there is some selfish intent of the Chief Minister, the Home Minister, which they're trying to push. That's what we feel here.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by selfish intent? What do you mean by selfish intent?
There is some kind of way of showing the Hindu pilgrimage center in a bad light. That is the selfish intent. That's what I see here, and my party also sees the same thing. They should not do this. Okay, they should be protective about all religions. That is the work of the state. They are not doing that. They are trying to malign.
You're suggesting that it was an attempt to target the temple, the Shri Manjunatha Swami temple.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Nikhil, your response to that, and also the footage that we show, this is where it started, where this man came up with a skull. If the SIT were to investigate, why did they not first, it turned out, by the way, that the skull was fake. Why was that not established? Because that would have stopped this entire wild goose hunt.
Akshita, first of all, I think the BJP has been parroting this cause ki Hindu khatre mein hai, that they see everything with that lens. My good friend from the BJP is saying that there is some selfish intention of the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister in maligning the religion, very conveniently forgetting that both these individuals are devout Hindus. What is this idea that somebody is trying to malign the religion? I'm sorry, Mr. Gurumurthy, Hinduism is a faith that dates back thousands of years. It has more than 1 billion followers across the country and the world. It is not something that can shake by allegations of some random person, number one. Number two, you talk about checking the credibility of the man. It's not about just this man. That's what I said in my opening statement, that since 1979, there have been many allegations by many different people about similar incidents around this temple. I'm not saying with the temple administration, with the religion, nothing to do with that. It's around this region, and it is the duty of any government to investigate into it properly. And he says somebody is trying to malign the temple town. I really don't understand that if a government is trying to investigate into allegations of rape and murder in a particular town, region, city, district, how does it malign the reputation of that town? If anything, it shows that there is law and order. if there is
No, but
something
Nikhil,
wrong going on,
so,
or at
so
least
let me flip that
somebody
around.
putting
Nikhil,
that
let me
charge,
flip that
it is
around
being
to you,
investigated.
which is essentially that this man, when he first spoke out, said influential individuals were involved. He's someone who worked in the temple also as a former sanitation worker. My question remains, the first basic step in an investigation is when he comes out with supposed evidence, you first check if that evidence is true.
Yeah.
So the SID must have checked onto it, and that is why they proceeded with unearthing the sites of the burials and the supposed burials, which is also, and let me again remind my friend from the BJP, skeletal remains were found. Even if they were not of a woman, does not matter. Does the murder of a man not matter in this country? Of course it does. Even that is a crime. Why were
Nikhil
there
Jain
skeletal
ji,
remains
1
buried
minute.
in a
Nikhil
place
Jain ji,
where he was pointing the police?
Nikhil Jain ji,
You're suggesting that there's truth to what this man has said.
No,
Okay,
Nikhil
Anand
Jain ji,
Gurumurthy.
please stop maligning it further, okay? It's not necessary, telling the same thing again and again. Anyway, SIT report will come. But the most important factor is, for BJP today, is who are the people behind this conspiracy? Okay, whether it runs from the hierarchy of the top Congress, this is what we want to find out, because this is something sinister. The way they are behaving with Hindu pilgrimage spots is sinister.
Okay.
This is not at all acceptable to us. As Nikhil Jain told, it's a religion followed by a billion people, and the way these people are doing, they are doing some kind of appeasement politics. They are dividing the society. This is not a constitutional way of running a state, and that is why we are opposing this, and that is why Dharmasthala Chalo.
Look, right now, the SIT is probing this particular case, and the government has made it very clear that they're not going to transfer the investigation right now. And I'm sure Nikhil and Anand Gurumurthy both agree with me when they say that, look, we have to weed out the conspiracy in this particular case. If there was anyone else involved in leveling false allegations, if these are false allegations, we must come down to exactly who's involved. But I'll wrap it here. Thank you very much, Nikhil Jain and Anand Gurumurthy, for your time, for joining us here on India Today. This is a story, of course, that continues to blow up, especially in Karnataka. It's the biggest talking point because there are questions being asked about why this man came out now. Why is he spoken out in this manner? Why did he put such sensational allegations on the temple town of Dharmasthala? And if there are more people involved, hopefully we'll get answers to those questions in the coming weeks as the investigation progresses. Let's move on to our other big story here on Super 6. And that's what's playing out in Telangana. Trouble for the erstwhile BRS government. Why? Because one of the biggest issues in the Telangana election of the Kaleshwaram irrigation project being mired in alleged irregularities, that particular probe will now be handed over to the CBI for a full-fledged investigation. That was the decision that was announced by Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy after heated debate in the State Assembly that went on nearly till midnight. The move comes amid intensifying political sparring, with Revanth Reddy alleging that there's been large-scale corruption under the previous BRS government. Now, that's why the Telangana Chief Minister has said that if public money was misused, we must ensure that there is a detailed investigation. As far as the BRS is concerned, they're dismissing all of these allegations, claiming it's a conspiracy, and now saying that this is the Congress and the BJP uniting against them. That's why the CBI, according to BRS, has been roped in. Let's get you all of those reactions.
రాప్కోస్ వంటి కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వ రంగ సంస్థలు, పిఎఫ్సి, ఆర్ఈసి వంటి ఆర్థిక సంస్థలు పాల్పంచుకున్నందున ఈ కేసును అధ్యక్ష సెంట్రల్ బ్యూరో ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్ కి అప్పగించడం సముచితము. అందుకే ఈ కేసు దర్యాప్తును సెంట్రల్ బ్యూరో ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్ కు అప్పగించడానికి సభ నిర్ణయం తీసుకుంటున్నది తమ అనుమతితో అధ్యక్ష.
The only request I have to the media as well, please question the Congress government. Why was there no inquiry? Why was there no commission on SLBC tunnel collapse where 8 people have died and still dead bodies have not been found out, dug up? Why was there no commission when Vatem pump house was submerged and hundreds of crores of public money was wasted? Why was there no commission when the retaining wall in Sunkishala had collapsed? Why was there no commission when Pedavagu project had been washed away twice in Congress government? This shows that both BJP and Congress are complicit. They're working hand in hand, and therefore no NDSA, National Dam Safety Authority, will question the Congress government.
Kaleshwaram case to be handed to CBI. What is the BJP say on this?
See, BJP has been demanding CBI inquiry on Kaleshwaram from the beginning. Now the state government after 20 months has elapsed in the inquiry and other places. And we have been maintaining that there is corruption, there are so many angles to be investigated, and CBI has to be handed over. But when they did the mistake, BRS did the mistake, Congress is protecting them. Now we have demanded for CBI inquiry. Now they say they are going to CBI. It's very unfortunate that these 20 years, a lot of water must have flown under Godavari, and a lot of siphoning must have been done, a lot of evidence has been erased. So there's no point of celebrating the CBI's investigation at this point of time.
Okay, let me bring in Abdul Bashir. He's joining us live from Hyderabad with more details on this. Abdul, just run us through really what the allegations are right now against the BRS in this particular case and how this has really snowballed into a huge political fight, because I remember it dominating headlines even during the Telangana elections.
Well, yes, this whole Kaleshwaram case has now become a political talking point wherein the Chief Minister, Revanth Reddy, had tabled this report of PC Ghosh Commission and the National Dam Safety Authority, which has cited major irregularities in the construction, in the designing, in the shifting of this particular project. And now that we see is that 3 barrages, Medigadda, Sundilla and Annaram barrage of the Kaleshwaram project, more than 1 lakh crore worth project, has now developed cracks in one pierce of this particular barrage that I'm talking about, and several irregularities has been blamed or released by the Congress government. The Congress government here says that a financial burden of 1.47 lakh crores has been left on the people of state of Telangana. This was a major talking point during the assembly elections in 2023, where the Congress had lashed out. We have seen Rahul Gandhi also visiting Kaleshwaram project when the cracks have developed in the barrages there. So now, after the report had been tabled, after the discussion with all the political parties in the assembly yesterday, the Chief Minister Revanth Reddy had announced that this case will now be handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Now, the big dream project, irrigation project of KCR, had turned into political flashpoint. From the assembly debate, it has gone to the CBI probe. Now, not only
CBI
this,
investigation now into the Kaleshwaram project. Abdul, thanks for those details. Let me just open this up also to our political panelists joining us. We have Shri Manjunatha Reddy, Kumbam, spokesperson of the Congress, with us on this broadcast, and Krishank Pane, leader of the BRS. Thank you both very much for your time. Good evening. Krishank, I'd like to begin with you. These are serious allegations, and I remember that for the last many months, it's been, in fact, grabbing headlines in Telangana. Now with the CBI entering, surely you welcome such a development, because the truth will emerge. You've got the Congress constantly raising these allegations of graft, of irregularities against the BRS.
Well, number one, Akshita ji, graft, in the 665-page report, we do not see any corruption amount in that. They have not mentioned any kickbacks. They have not mentioned any contractor's name. All that they could do was just to tarnish the image because we completed a project. Now, welcoming, we definitely welcome, because this has already exposed the truth of the Congress, Akshita ji, because Rahul Gandhi ji, across in India, every state, he calls CBI as a tool of Narendra Modi ji, as a puppet of Narendra Modi ji. Just 48 hours ago, our Chief Minister Revanth Reddy Garu has called CBI as a awzar, as a weapon of Narendra Modi ji, as frontal organizations of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And now the same Congress party is welcoming CBI here against the regional leader KCR Garu, who's fought and brought Telangana state. Now, what is our crime? Bringing water through Kaleshwaram? Number one. Number two, here is the hypocrisy of the Congress party, which across India opposes CBI. They protest outside the CBI office.
Okay.
In your Karnataka, recently, Siddaramaiah Garu has given a no entry to the CBI. And here, why shouldn't we say that the Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress here in Telangana are together, and that is why they've introduced CBI. So it is absolutely an expose of the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party's dual standard. Definitely we will face it. See, in one day, NDSA came in 2023. But till date, SLBC tunnel, the bodies have still not been recovered, but no one is liable for that. Not the contractor, not the government. No one is
Okay.
responsible. No inquiry, no commission on that.
No, so you've raised one point. Let's take it point by point. Srinivas Reddy, your opening statements. The BRS is questioning how you've gone ahead and handed over this case to the CBI when your party is constantly questioning the Central Bureau of Investigation, calling it a puppet.
First of all, let me clarify our friend's statement. The committee, the PC Ghosh committee, which has been formed, is a fact-finding committee. And they have already found, the report has already stated that there are n number of irregularities in this, like financial irregularities, planning irregularities, etc. And there have been many processes have been bypassed. Procedures have been bypassed by the previous governments. And now saying that this committee has not found any irregularities. It's a fact-finding committee. To dig deeper into it, it's not a trial court here. It's a fact-finding committee over here, which has found out the irregularities in the system. Now, since the committee has found irregularities in the system, the government has decided to table this report in the assembly and has decided to hand over the case to the CBI, because again, these people would only have said that they are trying to malign us, they are trying to defame us, and we would have done that with the ACB or the our anti-corruption or the CID over here. We have not done that. Okay, saying that CBI, we are criticizing the CBI. Definitely, we will be criticizing the CBI, but we will also are giving a chance to the Bharatiya Janata Party and the central government to prove that they can that what we have said is wrong. Come on, prove. And if your party is right, if the previous government is right, why are they afraid? They should be happy that we have handed it over to the CBI. We are not doing anything impartial here. It would have been we are going for an impartial thing.
So the Congress now, Krishank is saying the reason they've had to hand it over is because you have no trust in any state authorities. You'd have immediately claimed that the investigation is compromised.
Well, Akshita ji, number one, if they call it a fact-finding committee, and if they claim that they've found irregularities, then you could have tabled it at the court. 16 months. See, after NDSA, you had vigilance. After vigilance, you brought the PC Ghosh Commission. You gave it n number of times of extension. And okay, finally, after 16 months, you've tabled it in the assembly. You've got a report. Go hand it over to the court. Now, what is missing in that? And no, now you are saying...
you should be happy. You should be thrilled that it's now handed over to the CBI. That's a double check of the allegations, essentially, Krishank.
So that means that the fact-finding report was trash? Are they saying that their fact-finding report, because yesterday in the assembly, Minister Uttam Kumar Reddy says 1 acre also was not irrigated with Kaleshwaram water. But their own government documents say the figures of 18 lakh acres. Yesterday, they could not answer Mr. Akbaruddin Owaisi. It was very clear in that. And again, I am asking you the number. Just don't say 1 lakh crore corruption. The entire the expenditure was 93,000 crores, which was mentioned in your own Ghosh committee report. But you are saying 1 lakh crore of corruption. What is the figure? Where is the name of the contractor in that? Why haven't you not involved the contractors? Number one.
Okay.
Number two, the then finance secretary, who is chief secretary today, is not named in it, which is again questioned in your commission report. My point is, when any Congress leader, any Congress government is questioned, then by the CBI, is dragged by the CBI, CBI is wrong. Now you are saying that we are keeping a test for the CBI and for the Bharatiya Janata Party to prove their sanctity. Rahul Gandhi ji ko bolo, Congress ko bolo, CBI galat hai. But if you pull in KCR into this, CBI is good, CBI is nice, CBI is the best.
No, let's focus on the allegations that where you've questioned the report. Mr. Srinivas Reddy, would you like to respond to that, saying where are the exact numbers? Where do 1 lakh crore come from?
Basically, the project was supposed to be completed in 81,000 crores. Now the project is not yet completed. They have already spent around close to 1 lakh of crores, and the project is not completed, and the completed portion of the project has already collapsed. And now
but then when you say 1 lakh crore irregularities of graft, that has to be backed also with evidence, Mr. Reddy.
Definitely. Whatever the committee is not a trial court wherein everybody can approach and give whatever is their thing. that the irregularities have been found by a judicial commission. This commission, this is the process to be followed. They are saying since 20 months you have not done anything. Yes, we have done. Since 20 months, even before the elections, the Congress has stated that this would go to the CBI, and we have been asking for this to be given to the CBI right from the election time itself, because everybody knew that things were going in the wrong way. And once the Congress came to power, we have NSD has come in, as Shashank has said, NSD has come in. Then all these all the reports, and it's a time-taking process. We have followed a due process. We have not done it hastily. A due process has been followed, and once all the processes have been followed, and it has gone through proper channels.
Krishank, quick closing comments from you before I wrap this up. Look, forget the numbers for a second. There is a clear mention of irregularities of graft. There's a mention of it by BRS's K. Kavita, who's just now said that, look, the reason corruption has come in is because of Harish Rao. So she herself is admitting that there are graft allegations against KCR, against her father.
Let them, whoever is speaking today on behalf of the Congress's allegations, let them go to the CBI and let them hand over whatever necessary documents they have. Definitely KCR Garu and entire BRS party will fight this out. One thing I'd like to tell you, you just mentioned about evidence. Akshita Garu, you heard the Congress spokesperson and entire Congress government speaking today that it has collapsed. That is the exact attitude of the Congress today, that they want the whole project to be collapsed, which will affect the farmers and the people of Telangana. What is the actual damage? 2 piles, 2 pillars, just 2 pillars, which were supposed to be repaired. What is the cost of the repair? 200 crores. Who is going to bear it? The L&T. But what is the Congress praying every day and night? That the whole Kaleshwaram project, which is of 141 TMC storage, which is not just about 3 barrages, which is about 15 reservoirs, such a huge project wants to be collapsed by the Congress party. That is their whole intention.
Okay. Quickly, Mr. Reddy, your rebuttal, and then I'll wrap it up. Mr. Reddy.
What we are talking about here is not about 3 pillars of the barrage being collapsed. Even before water is filled into the barrage, the pillars have collapsed. Now there is a national safety problem. Dam safety.
Sir, today 10 lakh cubics water is there.
Everything now has to be checked. It is not about...
and nothing is happening.
Let's get you images from eastern Afghanistan, which has been rocked by a massive earthquake. Over 800 people have died. These are the latest images coming in of rescue operations are underway as teams continue to pull out survivors from beneath debris after that powerful quake. A large number of injured individuals have been evacuated so far. Rescue teams are working round the clock to evacuate victims and rush them to medical centers. The Taliban-led government issued an urgent plea for international assistance, calling on global humanitarian organizations to deliver medical aid. Serious challenge of resources at such a time, and so ready-to-eat food being distributed to those affected by the earthquake. Emergency food distribution teams are working round the clock. In the wake of the devastating quake, residents rushed towards helicopters. As the earthquake left thousands stranded, rescuers constantly searched for the injured and are transporting them to medical facilities. The areas affected in the earthquake remain abandoned and torn apart. There seems to be no sight of any humans as people have been evacuated. In the parts that have been badly damaged, there's still a sense of what really the scale of the disaster is right now, because rescue officials are struggling to get to these points. Okay, taking this across now for a live update, we've got Abdul Rakib, journalist from Kabul, Haya Meena, another journalist who's joining us from Kabul, and we also have Iftikhar Alam, journalist from Kunar province. Iftikhar, I'd like to begin with you. I hope you and your family are doing okay. Kunar province has been very badly hit by this quake. What's the current situation?
It's a powerful earthquake struck across all Afghanistan, but causing damage and casualty. The eastern provinces, especially Kunar and Nangarhar, Laghman, have so much hardest night we have in Kunar province and destroy many villages. So my family is finally good because we are living in center of Kunar, but in some areas, some villages in district of Kunar are so bad situation, and now in the now situation we have had 800 dead in 2,500 injured so far. Also, officials said that Kunar said that last night earthquake caused the death of around 800. It will boost, not in the end. It's not final numbers.
Okay, let's hope and pray that those numbers don't go up. But our prayers with the people of Kunar at this time as well. Let me bring in Haya Meena also, who's joining us from Kabul. Haya, we understand that Kabul hasn't really been affected. It's the eastern parts of Afghanistan that have been hit badly by this quake. Has there been any statement that's coming from the Taliban government on the current situation and the efforts that are underway right now to rescue all of those who are stranded in these locations?
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mina. I'm from Kabul.
Go ahead, Haya. Tell us the current situation.
And the situation is very bad, and the last night is very bloody night for the all of East and all of Afghanistan, and they're very badly night for the all of East people.
Okay, Abdul Rakib is also joining us from Kabul. Abdul, has there been any statement that's coming from the Taliban government on aid, on help that they require from other countries? India too, of course, has stepped in to say we will help in any way.
Thank you for having me. Yes, of course. The Taliban authorities have formed a special committee to respond to this tragedy and have allocated 100 million Afghani for immediate relief. As our colleague said, that also many sources told to me the ground continued to shake every 5 minutes with aftershocks, causing fear in Peking. The atmosphere is terrifying and people are spending the night in fear. Emergency rescue, medical and aid team have arrived in the area. The injured are lifted to hospital by helicopters of the Air Force, but still many dead and wounded remain trapped on the debris.
Iftikhar, just if you can get us an update on that, since you're joining us also at this point. Is there a struggle for authorities to reach some of the worst affected parts?
Local resistance are calling also people help them rescue the many many people of the other province of Afghanistan came to Kunar and help the people. Now they are try to rebel from in the earth. They are to rescue the people. And all they are helping, and the help is continuing. We'll see after a while.
All right. Stay safe out there. I appreciate all of you joining me. Iftikhar Alam, Haya Meena, and also Abdul Rakib. Thank you for joining us here in India today. I hope you and your loved ones are doing okay. And in this time, this grave time, our prayers with all of you and the people of Afghanistan. India is also stepping in right now to provide all necessary help. We'll get you that news break as well that's coming in. India's announced earthquake relief measures. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has spoken to the Afghanistan Foreign Minister. India has moved 15 tons of food from the Kabul embassy to Kunar, which is in the eastern part of Afghanistan, which is where the earthquake has struck. Relief materials will be sent also from India tomorrow. We've always maintained that we will step in to help any country in need, irrespective of diplomatic relations. Case in point was what happened also with Turkey, where India was one of the first countries to immediately step in to help. In these kind of natural calamities, in these times of disaster, India is stepping up, helping in every way we can. And in the case of Afghanistan, aid already being rushed from the Kabul embassy, but India has confirmed that tomorrow more material material will be sent in to Afghanistan. So India is stepping in to offer all possible aid, and this also comes as the Taliban government had appealed to all countries to help them in any way they can as far as these rescue and relief efforts continue. Over 800 have died, and we still don't know the exact scale of tragedy till authorities get to the worst affected pockets of the Kunar province. We will continue tracking all those updates that come in from Afghanistan and getting you live ground updates. But that's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. Thanks very much for tuning in.